Alright, we are live and welcome to race number 26 of 29 here in the 1989 Throwbacks. Tim Richmond continues to pull away in what should be pretty much an easy grab for the championship at this point for him. Elliott pretty much has second secured. Dale Earnhardt probably has third secured as well, but from fourth all the way back to 13th, there is a very tight battle for points, and basically anything can be transferred between those two spots there. We are now going to go to North Wilkesboro, which is the 5/8 of a mile oval in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. And this has been known as a wreckfest race in the past, so if we get a lot of cautions, don't be surprised. What might be surprising is how the we'll see how they qualify here, because qualifying's been really interesting here to close out the season. And Darrell Waltrip is on the pole, and I can't say I'm surprised. Yeah, that's about what I would expect for the starting lineup here in North Wilkesboro. Wow. Okay, so your top 10 for North Wilkesboro, it's going to be Darrell Waltrip on the pole, Ricky Rudd in the 26 for second. How about Kyle Petty in third in the number 42 car, Mark Martin fourth in the 6, in 5th, Bill Elliott in the 9, 6th, Phil Parsons in the 55, 7th, we have Alan Kowicki, oddly enough, in the number 7, 8th, we have Jeff Bodine in the 5, 9th, we have Tim Richmond in the 25, that's your points leader, and rounding out the top 10 will be number 28, Davey Allison. Here comes the command for the race. The command's been given. The pace car is going to roll off momentarily. There it goes. And we are going to have a 100 lap battle here at North Wilkesboro. This could be a very crazy track at times. A lot of interesting things happen here. We'll see just how crazy, just how desperate these drivers are going to be this time around. They come down to the line here in North Wilkesboro, and the green flag is going to be displayed. Look at the jump that the 17 car got. Yeah, that was a huge jump. Although Waltrip got a good jump, he didn't get a good run off of turn 1. Look at Elliott come to the bottom. Elliott goes from 5th to 1st in 1 lap. Oh, we thought that the 17 got a good jump off the restart. Look who really got the jump. Elliott's going to take a big lead. Darrell Waltrip, though, he's trying to hold on to the second position. Ricky Rudd trying to take that second position away. Let's see if he'll be able to get around the 17 here. It's not going to quite work out for him yet. And there goes Rudd. I think Rudd's going to get him. 17 might get into the wall there. Not quite. So there you go. Rudd will move into second. Darrell Waltrip third. Tim Richmond will be in fourth, and Kyle Petty will fall back to fifth. Mark Martin in sixth. Jeff Bodine seventh. Alan Kowicki eighth. Dale Earnhardt ninth, and Rusty Wallace will round out the top 10 for now. Seems like it. Whoa! Now we got a couple of really bruised up cars there. The caution flag is out, and we're going to find out what is going on. That looked like a brutal accident. Whatever happened. Oh yeah, we got several cars in the wall, in the outside wall there. And this is only going to be the start of everything, guys. Here you're going to see the 44. They're going to get into the wall there. And this just starts on the back straightaway. Look at these 4 cars trying to stay together. And the 44 just hits the wall and flips over. Same thing with the 48. 44 lands on his roof. Oh boy. Coming back in, you can see all the drivers on pit road. And it looks like Elliott's not going to come out as the leader. In fact, your leader is going to be Davey Allison, followed by Phil Parsons. Then Dick Trickle will come out in third. Bill Elliott fourth. Rick Mast will come out in fifth. And everyone hit pit road. Wow. So some interesting picks. Some people took 2 tires. Some people took 4. And you can see just how good the 2-tire track, oh boy, track position strategy is going to work out for him. So Davey Allison is going to take the lead on a little bit of pit strategy here. He's your leader. Phil Parsons second, Dick Trickle third, Bill Elliott fourth, Rick Mast is in fifth, Brett Bodine sixth, Harry Gant seventh, Sterling Marlin 8th, Ricky Rudd 9th, and Tim Richmond will round out the top 10. So 2 tires versus 4 tires. That definitely shook up the track position, but we'll see just how much tires are going to matter here. I think everybody that was involved in that accident is either going to be on the lead lap or have gone off the track. Jim Sauter and Mickey Gibbs are out. So right now it's just going to be everyone that's on the track right now. So we've got 40 drivers left in the race. We usually only end up with 25, about 25 finishing. And usually only 4 or 5 of those cars end up on the lead lap. It's really difficult to get a long green flag run here until most of the cars have gotten off. That's just because everyone's so aggressive, everyone's fighting for the same real estate. It can just be really difficult at times. Looks like the lights are going out on the pace car. We're going to be able to get back racing here on lap number 10. And Davey Allison trying to maybe guard the high lane a little bit, maybe a little bit of rookie prowess going on here. You know, Allison, this is Allison's third full season in the big leagues. They come down to the line, the green flag is out, and you can see drivers already spreading out trying to get into turn 1. Allison looks like he's going to be good for now, and now here comes Elliott. He's immediately going to make a move on Dick Trickle. So Allison, yeah. Bill Elliott is wasting very little time, and Davey gets into the wall there. That's going to allow Phil Parsons to actually take the lead before the line. That's going to give 5 bonus points to Phil Parsons. And that'll move Elliott into second, and more people are getting into the wall. In fact, Davey Allison's going to have to come down pit road. That's how hard he smacked it. So Phil Parsons will have the lead for now, but for how long? Because here comes Elliott. Oh, Elliott went up the track a lot there. He's still good. Elliott's still plenty good. Right now, actually, Phil Parsons has the fastest time. Look at that. Phil Parsons is actually the fastest car on the track right now. 115.854 miles an hour. Well, we'll see what Elliott's able to pull up here. This is really the first good green flag run that we've had. And that immediately ends, as the caution flag has come back out. And it looks like it's for a crash on the back straightaway. Most of the wrecks that do happen here, it happens in the back of the pack. And it looks like Jimmy Spencer is definitely in trouble there. He's going to get into the wall here. Here's how this usually happens. You're going to see people get squeezed into the wall. Oh, the 88 just gets turned. Ooh. That is a hard angle to hit the wall. And the 11, something happens to Terry Labonte. He won last week. Remember that. He's not going to want to follow that up with a DNF. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. Couldn't merge back onto the track in time. And in fact, that's going to, the 17 ends up clipping him here. So that's going to take the 11 out of the race, and that's going to take the 17 out of the race. And maybe the 30 as well. Luckily the barrels are going to be there. And the 17 hit at an oblique angle. So now coming off of pit road, it looks like Ricky Rudd is going to nab the lead. Yep, Rudd is now going to have the lead. Elliott's going to shift all the way back to 9th. And Tim Richmond will move his way up into the 2nd position because of all of that shuffling around. So Richmond might get himself into a position where he can get 5 bonus points here. And that will be huge towards the championship. Remember, he's got a 140-point lead on Bill Elliott. Even the slightest points bonus will just make it a severe headache on Bill Elliott if he wants any hope of getting back into this championship. It's really going to take a collapse from Tim Richmond. I mean, it's going to take at least 1, and it might even take 2 DNFs in order for Richmond to really tank in the standings. Unfortunately for Richmond, I don't think that's going to happen for him. So Ricky Rudd is going to be your leader for now. Richmond 2nd, Brett Bodine 3rd, Dale Earnhardt 4th, Phil Parsons, he was your leader before the caution. He falls to 5th. Kowicki will go to 6th, Dick Trickle 7th, Rusty Wallace in 8th, Bill Elliott 9th, and Mark Martin will round out your top 10. As more evidence piles up, the further back in the pack you are, the more dangerous it's going to be a fast car. So if you end up having a bad pit stop on one of these cautions, you get shuffled back. It's like stepping through a minefield. It really is. It's pretty much like stepping into a minefield. Now we're going to have lap traffic line up on the inside. And this is usually where the race starts getting interesting. Yeah, we're going to want to watch this from 2nd place on back. Our first double file restart of the day will happen here on lap number 19. And the green flag is out and we're underway. Ricky Rudd's going to be able to kid away on the outside lane. Look at this. Contact between... No contact. In fact, everyone's clean. Looks like everyone is clean for now. Kowicki trying to pick up a few positions. Ricky Rudd continues to hold the lead over Tim Richmond, and it looks like Rudd is pulling away a little bit. Yeah, Ricky Rudd, of course, going to a short track. He's got an extremely strong car. Everyone expected him to do well, and the caution is back out already. A big wreck on the back straightaway. Lots of cars involved. Well, I said this was just going to be the start. And it looks like it's going to start with Derek Cope getting trapped in the back. Looks like, watch, you're going to see the 40 and the 71. They're going to get into the wall. Cope gets spun around. And then, yeah, the 42 ends up hitting the pit, clipping the pit road barrier, and everyone else ends up hitting the wall pretty hard, I have to say. Especially the 51. He really hit hard. I have to watch and see what happened here. Watch Butch Miller. Hey, he hits the wall there. He's trying to find a way around. Oh boy, Bobby Hillin Jr. hits hard. All of those extremely hard hits. Coming out of pit road. It looks like Neil Bonnet is going to be your leader. Varying strategies, keep on mixing things up. Tim Richmond thought he had it. In fact, it's not going to be Neil Bonnet, it's going to be Brett Bodine. This is another thing about North Wilkesboro, is that commonly you get to see drivers inside of the top 10 and top 5 that you usually don't see because of these frequent pit stops. You get Brett Bodine, he's your leader now. Neil Bonnet in second, he hasn't really enjoyed much success this season. Then you have Tim Richmond third, then you have the rookie Dick Trickle, dirt tracking legend. In fifth we have Dale Earnhardt. In sixth, Larry Pearson. He's fighting for a job. In seventh we have Ricky Rudd. In eighth, Ken Schrader. Ninth will be Bill Elliott. And in 10th is another rookie, Chad Little. Chad Little for Junie Don Levy Racing in the number 90 is your lead, not your leader, but he's currently in 10th place. Yeah, it must really suck to be in a rookie class where you can be in 10th and you still aren't the best performing rookie. And Dick Trickle with the Stavola brothers. He's had an uneventful season. We really haven't talked about him much. We haven't talked about him much because he hasn't really done well, but no, he hasn't done bad either. He's inside the top 20 in points, and that's not exactly a team that's going to set the world on fire. So Trickle seems to be doing very well for the car that he has. Very well. So the pace car will turn its lights off, and it looks like we're going to get a restart here on lap number 25. Brett Bodine's going to lead him down to the line here. He's going to come off of turn 4. We'll see what happens now with the lap traffic. Green flag is out. Lake Speed's going to battle Bodine into 1. Oh, it's always interesting when the lap traffic does this. And it looks like Bodine's going to have him cleared. Bonnet can't clear Foyt. And that's going to allow the 25 to come along. Now Bonnet's going to be able to clear Foyt, I think. Yep, indeed. So Bonnet's going to stay in the second position. Tim Richmond will continue to be in third. And boy, Rodney Coombs is not exactly, whoa, slowing way down in front of traffic. And the caution flag's back out. So keep the 15 in the lead, and it looks like another person that clipped the pit barrier. Well, let's take a look here. No, it's just the 94 goes around, gets tapped by the 6. So now we'll see what happens here as they all come down pit road. Brett Bodine's coming out now. Neil Bonnet might beat him out here. And it looks like, oh boy. I think they're giving it to Bonnet. Yeah, I think they're going to give it to Bonnet. Indeed, they're giving it to Neil Bonnet. So Neil Bonnet is going to be your leader now. Harry Gant now moves into the top 10. It looks like Chad Little's going to move out. So your top 10 now is going to be Neil Bonnet in the lead, Brett Bodine second, Tim Richmond third, Bill Elliott fourth, Dick Trickle fifth, Dale Earnhardt sixth, Harry Gant seventh, Alan Kulwicki eighth, Ken Schrader ninth, and Phil, no. Larry Pearson will round out the top 10. Why did his name escape me? I know Phil Parsons, I'll come right off, but Larry Pearson doesn't roll off my tongue much. Anyways, the pace car lights are off, and we're about to go green again. This time on lap number 33. They come down to the line, and the green flag is out. Let's see what happens here. People are spreading out way back. Voigt's trying to race Bonnet into the corner. Oh, look out. Well, this is going to be interesting. Oh, we got G.D. McDuffie in the wall. Hold your breath. 3 wide. Oh, boy. Things are still getting crazy. They're still 3 wide. They're still trying to go 3 wide. Now, I think J.D. McDuffie is just trying to get out of the way. And now here comes Alan Kulwicki. He wants some positions here from Bill Elliott. See if he can get the position away from Elliott. Oh, look at this. Wow, look at this move by Kwiatkowski down to the inside. 3 wide. Man, that is some ruthless aggression. And the big loser there is going to be Elliott as the caution comes out. Your leader's still Neil Bonnet. And it looks like Mark Martin is now the victim of the pit retaining wall. Now that the caution is out, we're going to see the next round of pit stops, and let's see who gets out first. I think it's going to be wise to put your money on Bonnet here. And coming out first is going to be Neil Bonnet, and I don't think it's even going to be close. Earnhardt second, Larry Pearson third, Tim Richmond fourth, Brett Bodine fifth. I think that's going to be Dale Jarrett in sixth, Hutch Strickland seventh, Bill Elliott eighth, Ricky Rudd ninth, and Harry Gant 10th. As things continue to be crazy here at North Wilkesboro. Well, we try to define how much of a wild card race this is. This is the definition of a wild card race. All the crazy stuff that's going on. Anyways, pace car is going to turn the lights off again. Now, I'd like to note this because I think this is really interesting. The last time that Neil Bonnet won a race was actually back in 1985 at this track, where he put together one of the most remarkable seasons I've ever seen, having a big championship lead with only 8 or 9 races to go. He only had 1 win in that entire season. That was at this track. Unfortunately, a late season collapse allowed Waltrip to win that championship, and the green flag's back out. Bonnet's going to actually get away. So Bonnet knows how to win at this track. Meanwhile, oh, Earnhardt and Cope's going to go into the wall. That's going to allow Larry Pearson to get to second. Meanwhile, things are still dicey back here. It's been a long time since the Wood brothers have been to victory lane. The last time that they've gotten a win was all the way... yeah, actually, we got to continue to go back to the Spring Talladega race of 1986. That was the last time that the Wood brothers have ever won a race, and that was by Kyle Petty. It was his first career win and was the last race that NASCAR ever sanctioned on a super speedway without restrictor plates. They were able to average over 208 miles an hour around Talladega in qualifying and race with the draft. They were saying that the cars were hitting even higher speeds than that. So crazy stuff that was going on there. But right now, Neil Bonnet, 1.88 second lead on Tim Richmond, but that's coming down quick. Oh, Bonnet definitely does have a fast car of sorts. He's 6th fastest on the boards. So he's got to have some kind of competitive car today. And right now, I think he's trying to show it. We'll see. Tim Richmond's pretty much running his fastest laps. Neil Bonnet is not. I think that's putting it lightly. Tim Richmond's coming very quickly. Elliott is really getting lost in the shuffle right now. He better watch he doesn't lose even more positions, as this continues to be a really, really atrocious stretch for Elliott. And that looks fresh. Is the caution out? No, it is not. Smoke on the back straightaway, but the caution is not out for whatever incident happened. Earnhardt looking for a way around Larry Pearson. That'll put Earnhardt into the 4th position if he can still make that move. Right now, 28 cars are active on the track. Earnhardt's going to try to use the bumpers to get around Larry Pearson. That's going to put Pearson into the wall, and that's going to allow Kawicki to capitalize on both of them, perhaps. So Larry Pearson's actually going to lose 3 positions with this scuffle, and Kawicki might be gaining 2 of them. See if he can get to the inside of Earnhardt here, and he can't. Meanwhile, up front, we've got a battle for the lead. Neil Bonnet trying to hold off the 25 of Tim Richmond. How long is this going to last? It's not. Richmond's your new leader. Meanwhile, oh, Kawicki trying to hold off Phil Parsons on the bottom lane. Now, Phil Parsons has the 2nd fastest car on this track right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how quickly Phil Parsons can get through this field. The first half of this race is always survival. The second half of this race is strutting your stuff. And right now, Tim Richmond's doing exactly that at the front of the pack as he's pulling out to a rather monstrous lead right now. Phil Parsons trying to run down Dale Earnhardt here. That'll put Earnhardt into the... that'll put Parsons into the 4th position. Meanwhile, Brett Bodine's actually lighting up the track right now as far as lap times are concerned. Running actually a full mile an hour faster than Tim Richmond during the last lap. That pretty much went away as he caught Neil Bonnet, and he's looking for a way around Neil Bonnet in the 21. Yeah, Brett Bodine's going to continue to ride up the track, and that might actually get him into the wall. He's not going to be able to pass the 21 if he keeps on making mistakes like that. Parsons is trying to get to the back of the 3 car there. Parsons has got to be having one of the oddest seasons I've ever seen. 17 top 10s to this point of the season. 17 top 10s. Yet he's 13th in points. I don't know how you do that. I just don't know how you do that. Honestly, that takes skill. That takes skill to have 17 top 10s and somehow not even be in the top 10 in points. Oh boy. NASCAR is just insane sometimes. Brett Bodine's still looking for a way around Neil Bonnet. Is he going to wait for the lap traffic? Maybe try to pull a pick move here? See what happens. Bodine just can't find any way around Bonnet right now. Yeah, this is one of those hard things about short tracks. You know you got the faster car, but just can't find a way around your opponent. I think this will be the shot that Bodine can get here. See if he can get to the bottom of the 21 here in turn 1. Bonnet slams the door, but he's going to slide really wide. And there goes Bodine underneath Neil Bonnet. And it looks like, indeed, Bodine's going to take over Bonnet's position, but man, has the damage been done. Tim Richmond's out to a 3-second advantage. And growing quickly. 4-second advantage. Man, that hurt Brett Bodine in ways that he will probably never be able to properly describe to us. And I think Brett Bodine's, despite probably having the fastest car on the track right now, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, either him or Parsons has the faster car on the track right now. But, yeah, this is just not going to be good for Brett if he can't catch the 25 car. And Neil Bonnet holding up Brett Bodine. That cost him 4 seconds of track time, at least. It's okay. Bodine's trekking at a good pace here. He's going to try to continue moving forward. And bam, he chopped 0.2 of a second off of the lead there. Chopped 0.2 off, and we'll see if he can continue to chop the lead away from Tim Richmond. And the lead's now down to 2.8 seconds. Now again, this probably has a lot to do with the lap traffic, so don't get too caught up with those numbers. We'll see what happens once Brett Bodine's able to get around this traffic. Otherwise, Tim Richmond should be cruising to his 5th win of the season unless some kind of caution or something extraordinary happens. Of course, you can't ever rule out a caution at this track. You just can't do it. Brett Bodine continues to chop away at the lead, but now he's, look at this. That's not going to help him. And Richmond's going to hit pit road, actually, so clearly there are still pit stops to be had. And here comes Brett Bodine. He's going to dive off into pit road. So here comes Elliott. Is he going to dive off? Yes. Schrader's going to drive off. Jarrett's going to drive. Looks like everyone else that's on the lead lap is going to dive off on a pit road there. So now the question is, will the 15 be aided or not? So Richmond now is going to get underneath Rodney Coombs here, and I don't see any sign of the 15 anywhere. There he is. In fact, oh wow, here comes Phil Parsons. So there you go. 4 seconds is the gap. Yeah, that's not going to be made back up. So Tim Richmond just needs to cruise on out to a victory here. And with that, he's going to pull out to a greater than 1 race advantage with only 3 races left in the season after this. There's only going to be North Carolina, Rockingham, that's going to be next. And then there's going to be Phoenix, and then there's going to be Atlanta. So 3 speedways to end out the season. And those three speedways, they're all going to be tracks that Tim Richmond is exceedingly good at. So you can't expect Tim Richmond to flop at any of those 3 tracks. Well, maybe Phoenix might be a little bit of a wild card, but we'll have to see. Phoenix being, of course, a new track. We don't really know how the drivers are going to properly react. We only had the 1 race there last year. So Parsons right now, he's basically the only threat. Him and Bodine are the only threat to the 25. And wow, Parsons made a huge amount of ground on the 25. Huge amount of ground. And Chad Little's giving him a very hard time right now. Remember, Chad Little was inside the top 10 earlier on in the race, so it's no surprise that Chad Little gave Phil Parsons a little bit of a hard time, and now Dale Jarrett's going to give, Chad Little gave Tim Richmond a little bit of a hard time, and now Dale Jarrett's going to give Phil Parsons a little bit of a hard time, and all that hard work is gone. Well then. And it looks like Phil Parsons is getting a little impatient. He's using the bumper to get the 29 out of the way. He's like, come on. I got to go. If I'm going to have any chance of winning this, you got to let me go. Give me a break, Jarrett, he's trying to say. And Jarrett will not give him a break. No, Jarrett will not give him a break. It's not like Tim Richmond's getting any breaks here either. Oh, look out. Oh, wow. 14 really slowed him up there. All sorts of problems going on here up towards the front. Parsons is getting absolutely no favors from lap traffic either. And whoa, we got a really slow car there. That's the 10. Oh, that will, the 90 rather. And that will bring Brett Bodine down to a grinding halt. And if they don't wreck, I don't know if they ever will. That is, I don't know how they didn't wreck there. But apparently they didn't. And Parsons is going to get around AJ Foyt there, but the big picture is that nobody's going to catch Tim Richmond here out in front. Well, this will pretty much be the day looked back upon where people are going to be like, this is pretty much the day where Tim Richmond sealed the deal for the 1989 championship. This is pretty much his to lose. And as I said, it's going to take some kind of spectacular failure out of the 25 team to lose the championship at this point. They're going to come out of this race. They're going to have the most laps led out of any driver. And they're just going to be set. See what happens. 11 laps to go. Anything can happen. Absolutely anything can happen. But that's probably just going to tell. That's probably just a mask because cautions, even a caution right now is going to be completely useless. Alan Kowicki is up to 4th, by the way. Excuse me, Rusty Wallace is up to 4th. Kowicki back down to 5th. 9 laps to go before Tim Richmond will pocket his 5th win of the year. And here Richmond's now coming up to putting drivers within the top 10 a lap down. And again, this is pretty usual for a North Wilkesboro race to have less than 10 drivers finishing on the lead lap. This is pretty typical, actually. Oh, Richmond getting forced way down here. We got another car spinning out, and the caution flag's going to fly. And to say that this isn't going to help, Phil Parsons in the slightest is an over-exaggeration. What is Tim Richmond doing? I have no idea what's going on now. Well, this race is going to have a 2-lap dash to either a 2 or 1 lap dash to figure out who the winner of this race is going to be. And I think it's still going to be pretty obvious who it's going to be. I mean, there's going to be nothing stopping Tim Richmond from winning this race now. Basically, all the positions are going to remain constant at this point. There's going to be really no one to battle. Alright, so we're pretty much gonna, well, this race probably, like I said, it's either gonna be a one-lap dash or the race will just end underneath a straight yellow flag. We'll see which one it is here when we come across the line. Unless Harry Gant, for some reason, just dive bombs the hell out of Tim Richmond going into turn number 1, and that's something that the 49-year-old veteran is not going to do. Tim Richmond's gonna be your winner of this race, and we're gonna have 2 laps to go when we come to the line. So pretty much all the positions here are isolated, with the exception of Neil Bonnet and Alan Kowicki battling for 5th. I don't think any positions are actually going to be up for grabs on this restart. 2 laps is just not going to be enough to decide any position changes here. So how you're seeing the top 10 run right now is pretty much how the top 10 is going to be when they come across the line. Maybe Kowicki and Bonnet are going to be reversed. I don't know. We'll see. You're going to come to the line. 2 laps to go. Green flag is out. Richmond gets a good jump. That's all he needs. Oh, he slides way up the track. He's going to stay in front of Gant. The 25 went way up the track there. And Phil Parsons is going to give it his absolute all on this final lap. But I think we're going to have to factor this underneath too little, too late. Tim Richmond's going to dive into 3 and come off of turn number 4. There he goes. He's going to win the Tyson Holly Farms 400. And we've got a wreck. Ken Schrader, Lake Speed. Doesn't matter. Race is over. So Tim Richmond bags his 5th win of the season. In one of the more chaotic North Wilkesboro races we've seen in a little bit. So that's going to be a win for Tim Richmond, and that puts his top 10 total up to 21 for the season, which I gotta say is quite remarkable. You're going to have Bill Elliott. He's still going to be 2nd in points, and then Dale Earnhardt still in 3rd in points, but take a look at the position battles behind that. You have Ricky Rudd 4th in points. Rusty Wallace is 18 points behind him. Waltrip 50 points behind that. Labonte 50 points behind that. Schrader only 2 points behind Labonte. Brett Bodine's 22 points behind Schrader. And Jeff Bodine's 2 points behind his brother Brett. And then there's a 106-point gap back to Harry Gant. And that is just an insanely close battle for points. Yeah, it's just going to be crazy here coming down to the last 3 races, even though the points championship winners pretty much decided at this point. So we'll see you next time for Rockingham.